Hello, what is up guys? Eman from Peso Smart PH here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out to all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about timing the market versus time in the market. Sang paalala lang yung mga sasabihin ko dito and yung contents itong video na to, itong episode na to are not financial advice. Make sure that you do your own research and consider nyo na lang to as part of your research and part of your resources. So yeah, I'm not qualified to give you any financial advice. If you want that, then you should consult a licensed financial advisor. Alright, so let's get started. So, this episode, i-discuss natin yung newsletter na sinasend sa akin ng Gotrade. Sabi nila, no one can predict when is the best time to enter the market. And I totally agree with that. This is based on my experience na rin. Kasi, if hindi nyo alam, if bago kayo sa channel ko, I started investing in the Philippine stock market back noong December 2018. So, around 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. So, sabihin natin 3.5 years ago. And at that time, kagaling lang natin sa mga all-time highs ng mga stock prices. And at that time, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, even though I watched countless of videos about investing and reading a lot of articles, a lot of written content, and a lot of books about investing. But at that time, I told myself, nah, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do this, even though I'm not really sure what the hell I'm doing. So I started buying some stocks like Pepsi, like yung mga companies na kilala ko na, no? And like products na I'm consuming. Yung una kong mga stocks, yun nga, Pepsi and Mega World and Emperador. Kasi yung brand recognition is ando na. And kumbaga, trusted companies na sila and like they're blue chips. But of course, na-define ko lang siguro na gusto ko ng dividend-paying stocks. Siguro mid-2019, I started accumulating DMC. And kaya ko naman binili yun is because of brand recognition, DMCI. And maganda rin kasi yung kanilang binibigay na dividend yield every single year. Then after that, fast forward to March 2020. So all hell broke loose. So bumagsak yung market. The PSCI bumagsak to around 4,000 points. That was the lowest in over a decade. And yung cause nun is the global pandemic. And that is because of COVID-19. And at that time, I was down, I don't know, 40%, 50% down yung portfolio. And I was kind of questioning my decisions in life. Parang inisip ko noon na, tama ba itong mga pinagbibili ko? Tama ba itong mga stocks na pinili ko? Tama ba itong strategy na ina-apply ko? And then, syempre, bumalik lang ako dun sa fundamentals. Like, will these companies go out of business because of the pandemic? And yung answer doon is, we're not sure. Kasi, syempre, pwedeng ma-bankrupt, no? Even though malaking company yung isang stock na binili mo. They could still like file for bankruptcy. Like for example na lang yung mga malaking companies sa cryptoverse sa ngayon, 'di ba? Kasi yung iba talagang fundamentally hindi pala sila ganoon kaganda. And yung iba over leverage din. So yun. And after a while naman nung 2021 naka-recover na yung mga stocks na binili ko. And by the way, at that time nung 2020 doon ako nag-deploy ng malaking capital talaga. Like, lahat ng savings ko from 2017 up until 2020, nilagay ko lahat sa stock market. And I know na medyo scattered pa din at that time yung mga binili ko na stocks. Like, kung ano-anong stocks yung binili ko. Kung nag-focus lang ako siguro sa 3 to 5 stocks, mas malaki pa yung kinita ko. But again, I was a bit of a noob pa at that time. And right now naman, yes, meron akong experience and exposure sa stock market, sa cryptocurrencies, but I'm not really an expert. And what I do is buy and hold lang. And yung aking time horizon talaga is sobrang haba. Kasi yung ini-invest ko, I consider it as an expense. So, hindi ko siya gagalawin for a very long time. And actually, yung gains ko nga rin sa stock market, napunta lang din sa cryptocurrencies. So, majority ng mga stocks ko na binenta noong 2021 kasi nag-all-time high nga sila. And ang laki na rin nung kinita ko, more than double. Yung mga binenta ko doon, binili ko ng crypto. And ngayon nga, bagsak yung crypto, di ba? So, sort of the same situation nung 2020 and now. So, sa ngayon, ang hirap din bumili ng cryptocurrencies, no? Kasi ang baba nung peso against the US dollar. So, nag-56 na kanina. So, that's not really good. But yung ina-apply ko na strategy ngayon is just saving as much as I can, and I'm looking to buy some local stocks. Kasi yun nga, ang laki na agad ng spread na babayaran ko if magko-convert ako to USD or USDT or BUSD. Kung bibili man ako ng mga foreign stocks or ng mga cryptocurrencies. Wala rin kasing direct na like from peso to crypto as far as I know. And hindi ko pa rin naman na-explore yung ibang exchanges dito sa Philippines. Binance lang mainly yung ginagamit ko. Kasi I think that is the safest platform para sa ating mga Filipinos. And like, I think in general naman. So, di ba, ang daming naging illiquid na mga crypto companies again, as I've said earlier. Like, yung recently na nag-file ng bankruptcy, yung Voyager, 'di ba? Isa yung Voyager sa mga pinakamalaking widely used na crypto app. And right now, since yung market nga is hindi ganun kaganda yung outlook, marami talagang nadi-disrupt na businesses and parang naubos na yung VC money. But yeah, we'll see. And ngayon nga, ang magandang gawin is to just DCA dun sa mga subok na. Like for example, mga dividend-paying stocks na nasa PSEI. Sabihin natin, PLDT, Globe, Meralco, AP, and ano po, may isa kong binibili. Pwedeng DMC din. And then sa cryptocurrencies naman, okay mag-DCA sa Bitcoin, sa Ethereum. And other than those two cryptos, I think medyo mahirap din bilhin yung iba. Although ako personally nagdi-DCA din ako sa Algo kasi sa Algorand kasi I think that is one of the best crypto projects in the world. Alright, so I digress. Balik tayo dito sa Gotrade. We have suffered several market crashes over the years with the S&P 500 suffering double-digit losses. And currently nga, nasa bear market na din yung S&P 500. Down na siya by around, I think, nag-exceed na ng 20% from the all-time high. But nagkaroon na rin ng konting bounce from the crash nung, I think, a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, still, medyo bearish pa rin yung sentiment ng buong market overall. Some of these include the Great Crash in 1929. So, doon nag-start yung Great Depression. The OPEC oil embargo in 1973. Black Monday in 1987. If napanood nyo yung movie ni, pangalan ito, ni Leonardo DiCaprio, yung The Wolf of Wall Street, diba? Doon nagsimula yung parang premise ng movie na yun. The dot-com bubble in 2000. So, ito medyo similar sa nangyayari ngayon sa crypto. The global financial crisis in 2007. Ito yung nag-crash yung housing bubble sa US. And most recently, the COVID pandemic in 2020. Wouldn't it be amazing if we all had a crystal ball that could predict the best time to enter the stock market? And again, sinasabi natin, walang makapag-predict 100% kung ano yung mangyayari sa market. And di ba yung iba sila, Michael Burry, lagi na sinasabi, the mother of all bubbles. But pagka pinredict nila ng pinredict yan, and then, like di ba, Pag kasi magpe-predict ka, dapat merong timetable. Lagi lang nila sinasabi, oh, we're in a bubble. But hindi nila sinasabi kung kailan magpo-pop. Like, lahat yun speculation lang din. Even though, yes, na-predict niya yung bubble nung housing. And ang laki nung kinita niya and nung firm niya nung nag-pop yung housing bubble sa US. I mean, you can't really do that again with 100% accuracy. Nasasabihin mo, okay, this October 2022, magka-crash yung market and dito na magbo-bottom. No one can predict that. Yes, may mga tumatama, no? Pero laging hit or miss yan. It's a 50-50 chance. The truth is, it is incredibly difficult to time the market. The pros may have a slight advantage as they understand the market cycles better, have more experience trading the markets over the years, and have indicators to help them make investing decisions. This does not mean that they can accurately time the market 100% of the time. Again, hindi yung sinabi ko, diba? Similar sa sinasabi nila. And this is just based on the principles of Benjamin Graham and Warren Buffett. Kasi sila, they just buy and hold stocks in the long term. And they just let it grow over the years. And I know na yung kalaban mo talaga dito is emotions mo. And kumbaga, self-control na rin and patience. So iba gusto, like, isang taon pala nag-invest, gusto nila, multimillionaire na agad sila. I mean, if you have the capital, then you can do that. But if you're starting from the bottom na maliit lang yung capital, then you really have to grind it out. Hindi lang years, no? Decades talaga. And similar din naman kay Warren Buffett. First million niya, 30 years old siya, no? And actually, hindi nga yung first million. Kumbaga, net worth lang niya yung naging 1 million. And hindi yun lahat, kumbaga, pwede niyang gastusin kasi invested nga siya sa market. And then, naging billionaire siya around, I think, 50s or 60s na niya. So, it really takes a long time, no, para magkaroon ka ng generational wealth. Which is, I think, what we aim to do naman. Para syempre matulungan na if ever magkakaroon ka ng family. Ako, wala pa akong family. I'm single. So, kung may plano kayo magkaroon ng pamilya in the future, then you want to strive for generational wealth. Right. So, then what do you do when market crashes occur? There are two kinds of investors, the kind that tries to time the market versus the kind that spends time in the market. So ako, I spend time in the market. An investor is trying to time the market may exit the market and try to re-enter at a more favorable time. Whereas an investor who spends time in the market has a long-term investment strategy and will weather through the volatility. So that is what I'm doing. I'm not really trying to time the market kasi I think it's a waste of time. And which is a better approach? Well, investors who are trying to time the market have no way of predicting when the market will bottom out and recover. They stand to incur massive losses if they don't time their exit and their entry positions correctly. Timing the market is very risky. And ito yung tendency ng new investor or like sabihin natin new trader na rin. Ma-hype sila and mag-enter sila sa market kapag nag-all-time high tayo. Like, sabihin natin sa cryptocurrencies, di ba? Nag-all-time high, sobrang excited nila and bili sila ng bili. But they don't really take profits kapag umangat yung kanilang investment, di ba? And then, magbebenta sila kapag nakita nila, ay, bagsak na ng 20%, benta na ako, cut loss na ako. So, it doesn't really work that well for them. And on the other hand, an investor who is committed to long-term investing understands that market volatility is part of investing. He or she may deploy investment strategies such as dollar cost averaging or peso cost averaging. Yan yung ginagawa ko. An investor who remains invested in the market despite the volatility would have seen his or her investment grow over the years. And sabi nila, we will deep dive into DCA in our next edition. So, didiscuss din natin yun sa panibagong episode. So, ito, risk of stock market loss over time. This is from 1926 to 2017. Yung 1-year returns, periods with gain, and periods with loss. 74% and 26%. 5-year annualized returns, 14% niyan is period of losses, and then 86% periods with gain. Pero pagka 15-year annualized returns, 100%, no? Lahat yan, yung any 15-year period will give you a good return. From 1926 to 2017. That is insane. Pero again, sinasabi nga nila, past performance is no guarantee of future results. This is for illustrative purposes only and not indicative of any investment. An investment cannot be made directly in an index. Alright? But if you really have a long-term view sa mga markets, then yung statistics sinasabi, di ba, na you can't lose. 15-year period, walang period na may losses, okay? If you look at the individual 1-year returns of the stock market over 90 years, only 26% had negative annual returns. If you broaden the range to 5 years and look at 85 times 5-year periods, only 14% of these periods had negative annual returns. And if you expand the range even further to 15 years, there wasn't a single negative period. Diba? Long-term investing. And again, if you want to dabble in trading, just set aside a dedicated capital and trading account for that activity. Ihiwalay nyo yung funds nyo for long-term investing. Kasi pagka pinaghalo nyo, matitempt kayo eh. For example, natalo kayo sa trading. Matitempt kayo na, hindi, meron pa akong dito, meron pa akong funds dito. Gagamitin ko muna, utangin ko muna dito. No, don't do that. Gawin yung inconvenient para sa inyo na withdrawin yung inyong pera or yung inyong investment na nakalaan for the long term, no? Para syempre isipin nyo, hindi, pang long term investing, hindi ko to gagalawin, di ba? In the next 10, 20, 30 years. What does this mean? This means that stock markets are volatile and riskier in the short term, but definitely much safer in the longer term. Circling back to our question of the day, is timing the market or time in the market a better investment strategy? What do you think? Again, if you know me and if you've been listening or watching the channel for a while now, so I think 2019 natin binuksan yung channel, you know that yung investment strategy na ina-apply ko is time in the market. Long-term horizon, DCA, PCA. It's that simple. Again, tong investing game is not how high your IQ is, but it's more of an emotional game. You have to control your emotions. Hindi ba sinasabi ni Warren Buffett na if you bought a house for 1 million and then the next day someone knocks at your door and they said or they offer you 950,000 to buy the house that you just bought for 1 million. Will you sell it? Diba? Most of us, I mean, hopefully all of us will decline. So it doesn't make sense to sell the house that you bought for 1 million at a lower price just because someone else wants to buy it from you. Okay? So I hope that analogy helps you out, and yeah, para sa akin, long-term investment is the way. Alright, so we're heading towards the end of this episode. Ito yung mga sources for today's video. We have 2 photos from Unsplash and Gotrade, yung kanilang newsletter na sinend sa akin. Alright, let's end the episode here, guys. Sana may natutunan kayo. And if umabot kayo at the end of this episode, thank you very much. I appreciate you. If bago ka sa channel ko, click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell para wala ka ma-miss out sa mga uploads ko every single day. And if natripan nyo naman yung content ko, leave this video a thumbs up, and if hindi nyo natripan, then bigyan nyo ng thumbs down. Sobrang nakatulong yun sa algorithm ng YouTube. You may also follow me sa mga social media platforms ko. I'm on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at emanpsph. Thanks again for watching and listening, everyone. Stay safe out there, and always remember, be Peso Smart.